Today I got something special I want to talk about. You know, I've been looking at these for years, these dash cams they put on the car. You never know when something bad might happen, and there might be a court case, or, you know, to avoid having your insurance go up, if you had the proof of exactly what happened versus having witnesses or anything else to come, to have video that can be shown in court if necessary is priceless. So what we got is the Vueroid sent me a camera setup that they have. It's the S1 4K Infinity model. They make a couple different setups that you can get from them. One, they just sell the front camera. You can also get one with the rear camera, which is what they sent me, so you can see stuff that's behind you. Also, they make one where you can get it to where it mounts inside on this camera to where it can shoot back and show you everybody in the car. If you're an Uber driver or something like that, you might need that. So let's take a look and see what I've got here that they sent me, and we'll talk a little bit about what you have. I'm not gonna do an unboxing. I'm just gonna show you the parts that they sent me. So what they did is they first sent off, of course they sent you the front camera. You know, one of the things I'm not super cool about is that it has 3M tape to stick to it, so it's a permanent mount. Some of the guys aren't showing this camera, they're not showing you that this guy actually does come off. So if you had it on the windshield, you could actually slide it over and it will pull off. So if you want to remove it, you can do that to get to it. So that's one of the cool things about it that I didn't see anybody else do. Some of the things, it's got a screen on it so you can see what's going on inside when you calibrate it, get everything going. But some of the cool things that this thing does is you can set it up to where it will film what you're driving. Also, it can film when the car's sitting for so long, like in a parking lot or something like that. You know, if somebody bangs your car or something like that. So there's some settings you can set in here for that. So there's the front camera there. One of the cool things they also send is they send a polarized filter for the front. So that way we're not going to get a bunch of glare. If I'm driving into the sun, they can see everything real good. The other thing that this thing has is AI built into it to where if you got a kind of a blurry license plate, it will sharpen it up for you. So that's kind of cool. We're gonna have to check into this and see how that works out. But some of the things they sent, here's the rear camera that they'll mount up. It's got tape on the same thing on the back of this to mount it on there. This doesn't have a sun protector or polarized screen for the rear. They've got two different wires you can plug in to get your power. One is you've got a cigarette lighter setup that's going to plug right into your cigarette lighter. Now, which I notice now that when we rent a lot of cars, they don't always have cigarette lighter or accessory 12-volt plugs, they may call them now. So they sent you a setup with a fuse in it to where you can hook it up into the fuse box, or you can tap it into a power line. Make sure you're hooking it up properly. You know, if you're not got experience in doing something like that, you may want a professional to do that for you. The last thing they do is send you a 256 gigabyte card for it to put inside. They also give you the holder so you can take it back and put it in your computer and look at it and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. Of course, they give you an instruction book. They also give you a wire for if you need to get updates and things like that with it. That's all there. And this wire here is the one to run for the rear camera to hook it up. They give you this little fancy snazzy tool here, which is supposed to be for you to pop your trim down to run the wire like when you're running it in the back. Along the trim and stuff like that. Today I'm probably not going to show you all that. I'm not going to run that back wire. We're just going to kind of hook this up today, kind of show you a little bit about what's going on with it. Like I say, the instruction book wasn't too bad. I kind of looked at that. That's how I found out about removing the screen, that you could take this unit off and pop off and it'd still be on the windshield. So that's kind of cool. Be nice, which I looked on their website and I didn't see it, that they would sell you additional ones of these. That way you could take this camera and you could put it in other vehicles, just like us. We've got, instead of me having to buy a complete set every single car that I own, we've got 4 cars. We could use it on the car that I'm driving at that time. So that would be a real benefit. So let's get it all hooked up. We'll take a look at it and we'll find out, is this something cool? Is it something you might want to get? Let's get to it. So the first thing we're going to need to do is put the SD card in, and it goes in on the side here. Figure out which side it goes up. All right, so it's going to go with the black side, is going to go towards the screen when you put the card in. So once I put the card in, it card needs to be formatted. So we're going to go ahead and format the memory card. SD card formatting. It is not a touch screen. I had to push that blue button to get it to format the card. System restarts.
dash cams powering on.
So it wants us to go ahead and set up the language and everything, so we'll do that. It's English. They have English and Spanish on here. Please select to display the system data. We'll push next. I can go ahead and put the year in. Today. Oh yeah, let's see how that's going to work. Oh, I guess it's just asking you which way you want it to go, date, month, and year. Depending on which way you want to go, you're just selecting that, so you're not typing in the date yet. Please select the system time. So we're in mountain time, so it actually came up with that, so that's good. So we can hit next. And then it comes in and says, pick your city, where you're at. We'll take Utah. Please select the system frequency. So we're going to do that next. 60 hertz or 50 hertz. So I'm going to go with 60 hertz because it's the NTSC is what I want. You can also go to the PAL if you want that. Please select the resolution that you want. So I want 4K 30 frames per second. That's what I want. You could also do 60 frames per second. For me, for 30 frames per second, in case I want to put this into a video that I'm making, I can go that route. Please select the bit rate of the video to be recorded. We can do that next. Kind of select what you want. I'm going to go with medium because it's going to take more of the card up. Choose the SD card memory. Partitioning that suits your driving thing. So here we go next. Driving, recording. So they give you 60% driving, 15% parked, 30% driving, 15% parked. So it's more of a parking priority. We're going to go with the driving. I'm more interested in that. All settings will be in place and the SD card. So now it's starting to... Recording. There you go. So what this is going to do is every single time you start the car, this thing is going to start running for you. So our next thing to do is we're going to go ahead and mount it on the windshield. So that's going to be going up here. So with the wires, here's the wire for the rear camera here. On the back here, they have different holes, but one of them is marked for our rear camera. One is for the inside camera. So you're going to want to kind of have all these wires connected before we put it on. Also, there's a little film on the front of this we want to take off. And my polarized lens, I want to go ahead and put that on now because it would probably be a little harder to get it on once we get it up inside there. And it's got, does it have a, yep, it's got a protective inside too. So take the inside lens cover off and take the outside lens cover off. Make sure it's wiped off before you attach it to this. That one I took the cover off. It just pushes on there. Also, this does have an adjustment on it, so once you get it up, you're going to be able to adjust it to see what's going on. This also has a protective film on it. You can take it off or leave it on. It's up to you. We're going to go ahead and turn it off while we're getting ready to hook it up because it's beeping and going nuts. So it's a little on and off switches just here on the back. I did have a little trouble getting the 3M off. They have a little tab on the back it's supposed to pull off. It did not want to come off. I ended up having to take a razor blade and cutting it in the other end, and I was able to peel it off. Just a FYI, I don't know why this one was so stubborn. So I'm going to go ahead and plug everything back in before I put it up here. Now today I'm not going to hide all the wires and all that kind of stuff at this time, just for the fact that I don't have time to show all that in a video. I don't like to take headliners down. So if I'm going to run the wire to the back, I'm going to run it along the bottom and go under the floor kick pans, run under the carpeting and into the back that way. That way I'm not messing with a headliner. If you know anything about headliners, they do have a tendency of once you mess with them, they might fall down on you. Go ahead and pull the app that I installed here. There you go. They tell me. So it's starting its recording. So we'll see what, we'll take a look here on There it is, the hub for it. So now we're going to go ahead and hook the rear camera up because it's going to tell me a couple things I need to do.
Starting recording. Wi-Fi is turning on.
Okay, so we're turning the Wi-Fi on. The phone, and found the camera, and then you have to tap it to allow it, and my phone's asking if they want me to connect, and of course I do. I want to confirm that we're connecting. So it also said while it's here, there's been a new device plugged in, which is what I was kind of waiting for on the camera. And so it did. So I'm going to go ahead and put yes, we do have a new device.
Wi-Fi is connecting.
All right, it's still wanting to wait for the Wi-Fi to connect. So it's still downloading the firmware. Got it all hooked up. It is working. A couple things that I'm not real sure about. One, they do give you some little clips to where I was saying before I didn't really want to pull the headliner down. They give you some clips that you can put up against the windshield up there, up at the very top. And then that way you could do, just like I was recommending, run it down the panel here, run down here, run along the kick panel, and get that wire back there. I don't know if I'm going to hook it into the fuse box yet or not. I just haven't figured out what I'm going to do with that yet. Hooking it all up, here's the issues I had. Typically getting the front camera started and all that wasn't an issue. When I turned on the app, it has to link to the device, to the cam, and it goes to its own Wi-Fi from the camera for the Wi-Fi. And it takes a little while to do that. So I needed a firmware update. Well, it was going on and spinning and probably waited about 5 or 10 minutes. And I finally said, to heck with it. I'm going to shut it all down, open it back up. And then it said, okay, now it's going to download it into the cam. And there was just a few seconds and it was done. So you might have to do that if you get to the point where that thing's just spinning on there, your screen's just spinning on your phone. Go ahead and try that. Once I got the firmware hooked up, there you go. I was having some more trouble getting the back camera because they said once you plug in the back camera, it should ask you what you want to do, if you want to do 2 channels or 3 channels or 1 channel or whatever. And it did do that when I first was uploading the firmware, but I couldn't do it because it said it was hooked up to Wi-Fi. Once it's hooked up to Wi-Fi, you can't use any of the controls that's on the head itself. Just to let you know there. So it took me about 4 or 5 times of plugging that in, plugging it out, before it finally recognized the rear camera. Now for a truck, this could be only mainly for a truck, but I got a F-250 truck, Ford, and the way it sits up, the rear camera really isn't going to give me a whole lot of anything. About the only thing it could really do for me is if somebody came up and hit the back of the truck before I hit somebody in the front, that would show they hit me first. But I mean, they hit us from the back anyway. So it's not really going to help me a whole lot with the back. I don't think I'm going to be able to get any license plates or really get any real good information for my truck. Probably in a car, or if you had a SUV where you got that big windshield in the back, you could probably get more of a shot. But coming off the back of the truck, which I'll show you some of these shots that I have, but I don't think we're going to be able to be any real purpose for me to have other than the front cam. But that's just me. I'm only going to hook it up to this one because with the sticky stuff that's on it, you're kind of stuck. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of them and if they sell the plate that we can move it to other cars. Wouldn't worry so much about the rear camera, but to have it for the front camera, that would be great. Or maybe you could buy additional rear cameras and you can plug them in as you needed. That would be up to you. Or if you wanted to get the camera inside. So there's some choices. I'm going to try to check them out and see what I can do to do that. Other than that, we're going to jump in it now. We're going to take it out for a drive. We're going to do some recording on it, and we're going to see what kind of video we got. I have not hidden the wires yet. That'll be another time. You don't need to be bored with trying to show how it is, because every car is going to be different on how you remove all this. My Ford here just has clips on it, pops off. That little tool is probably not going to pop off these lower panels. You need something a little bit bigger. You can go to like Harbor Freight. They make a cheap kit. I think it was less than $10. I got those. Gives you like 5 or 6 tools that will work on different things. I use those all the time. And then I'll hide the wires and all that kind of stuff. Mine is not turned off. So it looks like my 12-volt cigarette lighter, we used to call them, but now it's just a 12-volt plug, I guess they call it, because people don't seem to really smoke in cars anymore, using those cigarette lighters anymore. They don't even give you a cigarette lighter in a car anymore. So there you go. We'll check it out. We'll talk to you in a few minutes. This is pretty much going to wrap up our dash cam video. Let me tell you a little bit more before you go clicking off of here. You know, I was pretty impressed with the video, especially at night. I couldn't believe how good a quality I had from that front camera. Now, it wasn't totally pitch black. It was, the sun was pretty much down. It was getting kind of dark. Lights are coming on. But I mean, I still could kind of see what was going on. Rear camera, like I say, once again, with the pickup truck, may not be as good as in the back. I'm looking at probably that rear camera is probably not 4K, so you're not getting the high crisp video that you're getting from the front camera. Now, I do only have it set on medium. You could do high. It might be a better shot. Maybe I'll check that out and let you guys know what I think, if that makes a difference. But yeah, if you have a different kind of vehicle where the camera's closer to the road versus the truck, you got that whole tailgate, the bed of the truck and the tailgate to get over to see anything. But it was pretty cool. I kind of like the rear camera. I kind of said at first I didn't know if it would do me much good, but you could see the cars that were passing me on the side, so you could get some idea there. If somebody did clip you or that car was coming up and then cut you off, you had a little bit of more evidence of what was kind of going on. The company hasn't gotten back with me on the things that I asked about. We'll let you know when that happens and things like that. So we got a lot of great trips coming up that we'll be using the truck. So we'll give you some more insight and a little update here as we go along. So stay tuned and keep watching the channel. You know, we do appreciate you checking out the Bob and Tam's cars, trucks, and tools. We got all kinds of cool stuff that's going to be going on. You know, the shop's going to get going here real soon. We're going to have a lot of work to be doing on some vehicles. Got some new tools we're going to be checking out. We have a scan tool that we're going to be checking out here in the next week or so. So stay tuned and keep watching for that one. And we do appreciate all of you. I hope you do subscribe to our channel and give me some support if there's something you're looking at or some tools or something like that. We got a couple other cool ones. We're going to be talking about tools if you're thinking about getting into it, don't know what you want to do. I used to be an ASE mechanic back in the day, back in the 80s, into the 90s. Got out of all that, and when we moved to California, I sold all my tools. So I bought all new tools, and we're going to show you maybe what you need if you're thinking about either being a mechanic or maybe just a hobbyist at home. I'm going to be giving you a real detailed look about what kind of tools do I need and how much do I need to spend. So stay tuned and keep watching for that. And once again, thanks for watching. Hope you subscribe, hit that bell, and we'll see you on down the road.